Okay, let's get on to another quilt panel. This is the design that we're working on today. We're going to do this flower and this flower. Now I'm going to start with the stems, and I'm using the brown 839, and I'm going to do a chain stitch. I'm starting at the very top, and I'm actually moving my way down into the center where the stems cross over, because I'm going to do each stem individually. So I'm not actually going to go all the way down and then all the way across. I'm going to bring this particular stem just to the center here where you can see. And then I'm going to start the next one at the top of the other flower and bring that one into the center. So I want all four of them to converge in the middle. Once you get this one meeting in the middle, then you're just going to do the other two. Next, we're going to do the fly stitch on the leaves, and I'm using the olive number 734. And you've done the fly stitch on the leaves many times now, so this should be second nature to you. And once again, I'm leaving gaps in between each of the fly stitches, just so that we can see the green print underneath. Now, this is also going to be a fly stitch. Doing that red shape underneath, I wanted to feel it solid, but the fly stitch here is not going to be angled at all like on a leaf. We're just going to keep it completely flat. As you can see, I'm just going from side to side. My needle is still coming out in the center, exactly the same as what we're doing on the leaves, but the stitches are very close together and they're sitting completely flat. So there are no angles here. And just feel the whole shape moving down. Next, I filled the two front petals with a leaf stitch, and I want you to watch this video until I do the other petal, because there's a little tip there that you might find helpful. As with all leaf stitches, you're just moving from side to side until you feel the shape. Now from this point here, I'm going to come straight out onto the other petal, and you can see we've got more space on here than on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add one more stitch on the bottom there, and then I'm going to fill the blank space on the other side with 3 stitches. Next, we'll do the other 2 petals, and they're going to be filled with a satin stitch in the direction as you can see me doing it here. So we're just going to move up and down, laying the stitches side by side until both of those petals are completely filled. The top part of the flower, I'm still using the blue, and I'm just going to outline it in a stem stitch, but I want to show you here how I turn a sharp corner. I'm going to stab my needle into the end there, and then I'm going to come out about 1 centimeter away, or a little bit smaller actually, and then pop my needle back into the top peak and then come out halfway in between, and now I can restart my stem stitch and continue. Then I've just added some orange French knots in that triangular shape, and they're just going to go all the way to the top and then all the way to the bottom on the other side. Now, while I've got my orange already threaded up, I'm just going to add a single fly stitch in the middle there, just to add a bit of extra texture. These little stamens here, I'm just going to fill with a back stitch, and note where I'm starting. I'm starting at the top on the right hand side, because I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to bring my brown thread up through that petal. I'm going to add 2 single stitches over the front of those petals, and then come out on the other side and do the other stamen. So it's just So that's just some simple planning ahead. And of course, these little circles are going to be done in a satin stitch, and as you remember, we're dividing the shape in half first, laying stitches to one side and then finishing them off on the other side. Okay, this flower is done. Now let's move on to this one. I'm starting with outlining those 3 petals in a stem stitch, and once again, if you remember, this is how we turn a sharp corner using a stem stitch, and I thought that the outlines would be nicer here than filling them solid like we did on the other flower, just for a little bit of contrast. Then I added a single pistol stitch inside each of the petals. Once again, just to add a bit of interest and texture. You could do the pistol stitches in a different colour if you didn't want to use the light blue. And just like on the other flower, I'm now going to lay a row of orange French knots along the top peak. Now on this bottom shape here, you could do the basket weave again if you wanted to, but I wanted to do something simpler, so I'm going to do a running stitch using the red number 22, and the running stitch is just going to go from side to side in kind of like a brickwork effect. There we are. Now these stems here are going to be done exactly the same as there, and the leaves you're going to repeat with a fly stitch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.